I'm originally from Alberta, grew up in a small town just northeast of Edmonton. It was pretty well a Ukrainian community, so culturally things like egg painting was always around. Well, it's properly called egg writing or pysanky. But I actually didn't get involved in it until I was an adult. I went to the University of Alberta, did a BFA there, and then did a master's degree at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. Ended up returning to Edmonton, lived there for about 13 years. I had started working on becoming a professional artist, was picking up work in all kinds of different, like basically whatever I could, teaching community art classes. I had a job though as the art advisor for the Catholic hospitals. After 10 years, that job was cut. They were advertising for a curator here in Brandon. I applied, I came here, was curator here for about 3 years. To becoming a practicing artist, I was a housing resource worker up until a few months ago, and now I'm working on developing a sober living facility. In terms of the arts practice, I do something every day. A friend of mine said art is like a muscle, so you have to keep working on it. I kind of like that idea, so I do something artistic, whether it's egg painting, whether it's painting, because I was trained basically as a painter. I also make sculptures out of things like mat board and whatever else I can find. I've got some eggs in the Prairie Vernacular show that's currently at the Art Gallery of Southwestern Manitoba. So I am going to basically demonstrate how I go about making eggs. Okay, so today I'm going to show how I go about painting an egg. The technique I use, the egg writing technique, is traditional. However, I don't make traditional eggs. Rather, I think of the eggs kind of like a sketchbook, kind of like a story. So the first part is to mix dyes. And the reason that you start with mixing the dyes is because you have to use boiling water, and it takes a while for the water to cool down. Once I've completed drawing on, the pencil drawing on an egg, the next step is to start putting layers of wax on the egg and dyeing it. Egg writing is a wax resist technique, very much like batik. The tools I use are called kietskas, and they come in different sizes. Just like pen points come in different sizes, the kietskas come in different sizes as well. There's a little end here, a little cup where I put the wax, and I use beeswax. It's pure. Can't use paraffin because paraffin, depending on the mixture of oil and whatever else is in it, there's different melting temperatures, and the kietskas could become clogged. So pure beeswax is better to use. So getting right into working on an egg, the first thing is to come up with an idea. So what do you sketch on an egg? Traditional eggs tend to be very patterned and very detailed. I am looking at narration and storytelling, and also kind of developing my own set of symbols. So in my work, when the skinny cat-headed animal creature is around, it's usually doing things that my husband does, like fixing things, changing light bulbs, ironing. So it's very much about domestic, kind of basically boring life. One of the challenges that working on eggs has is that if you try to do anything that has any kind of perspective in it, obviously you're going on a curved surface, so your perspective gets really wonky, and I think that that adds to the interest in the egg and some of the drawing challenges. How do you make someone aware that your character is in a room or outside in a landscape, and oftentimes, like if you're drawing a wall, if you're drawing anything vertical, all of your points will meet at the top or meet at the bottom. If you're drawing a figure, the thickest, because the round part is the widest, you're going to end up maybe with all of them having big stomachs. So you have to kind of make up your mind about how this story is going to be told, and what I can live with in terms of distortions. It's that balance between what can be exaggerated and what can't be exaggerated. What I find, like going over the eggs, I want to be careful about how much, like you can't erase off the egg or the dye won't take. I have to be careful with even how much I'm washing the eggs, because I can't, if there's variations in the shell, the dyes take differently. So it's a little bit of being able to be spontaneous and being able to accept mistakes. And so yeah, it's basically just figuring out what I'm going to do on, what story I'm going to tell with whatever is initially inspiring me. I have several eggs where, I guess, why did I decide to do egg painting at all? Part of it is my heritage. Part of it is that I was using a lot of Baba Yaga imagery in my drawings, and Baba Yaga is a Slavic tale, similar in some ways to Hansel and Gretel. It's about a witch that lives in the forest in a house that, when she leaves, gets up on its chicken legs and moves around. And she also, like the story of Hansel and Gretel, she eats children, she makes a fence out of their bones. So, house with chicken legs. And then why the Baba Yaga houses at all? And that goes back to what I was doing for a living, which was helping homeless people find housing. So I've become quite obsessed with housing, and the Baba Yaga house seemed to represent to me the idea that housing is scarce. What is housing? How secure are we with our housing? How do you protect your home? So that was how I was using that particular image, and that's how I got connected to the eggs. So that was basically just a demo to say, you can draw on an egg with a pencil.